So you want to improve your style. I'll just give you a quick summarized opinion, so don't go watch the whole video. If all you want to do is get some quick tips, I got you. Step 1 would be find elements of artist styles that you like. Step 2 would be to practice those elements like by themselves. And then step 3 is you just repeat that for every artist that you like and try different things out, see how it goes. Maybe it'll work, maybe it'll look horrible. That's up to you. So now that we got the summary out of the way, I'm going to start out with a quick definition of what I'm kind of defining as an art style, just so we all on the same page. And then I'm going to talk about generally how you evolve your style in more depth. And then I'm going to show you some examples of my past work and how I've implemented it. So the way, at least I see an art style is just like, it's a culmination of your experiences. So that also means that it's completely unique to each person. And that means you can't copy someone else's one for one. You can imitate it closely, like if you really, really practice, but you're always going to be just a poor imitation of it. It won't be your own, and it's just less fun too at the end of the day. That's where practicing your own style, making it unique, and just making it yours comes in. So generally, let's say you like the eyes from artist A, the hands from artist B, and how artist C does their clothes. What you would do is you practice artist A's eyes, how they do it. You get a lot of examples from their past work and you study it, try to replicate it, and try to reverse engineer how they do it. Really, the learning from this comes from having a finished product, looking at theirs, and trying to reverse engineer how you would do it. Because if you just follow the exact same process, that can be helpful. But I feel like, first of all, it's less fun. So there you go. That's one big part. But the bigger part, I would say, is like you won't have any problem solving skills for when you actually just draw. Because drawing is a lot of problem solving. Hey, this looks horrible. What can I do to fix it? Well, if you actually practice and then just copy someone else's stuff, you would know. It's like sharpening just instinct. Because generally, drawing is just like a sharpened instinct. Like a lot of it's based on reaction. You're not thinking about every single brush stroke. You're more thinking about the bigger picture. If you can practice that while practicing your style, which is what you'll be drawing with, you'll just end up making better drawings and a lot quicker as well. And before we get into some of my drawings and how I implemented some of my inspirations, I figured, hey, we should probably talk about what my inspirations were in the first place. So I really had 5 main artists, I would say. There's obviously been a lot of little inspirations from like manga and stuff like that along the way, but these would be my main 5. And these aren't in any particular order, and I'll go more in depth in them later. Initially, Dino, and then 96. That was a lot of their backgrounds and their just overall style. And then Gris, SamDoesArts, and Sydus. I looked to all 3 of them for their colors and their expressions because their characters seem really alive in almost everything they make, and that is something that I really want to achieve. And it takes quite a long time, and I'm still not 100% there yet, but we're currently working towards it, you know. Hey, give me some time, ease up, ease up. I will go deeper into each one of the inspirations and specifically what I was looking for from each one later. All right, I say it's time to get the meat and potatoes cooking and just hop right into some of my drawings. My drawings only go back to January of 2021 because I've been drawing since then. I started when I was like 16, so 19 now, so that's about 3 years. And of quite a few hours a week, I try and keep at least 20 plus. I am still in school and have like a job, so time gets kind of tight every now and then, but you guys know how it is. One of the first drawings I made, Cleveland from Azure Lane. You can see the anime inspiration, and I didn't study much anatomy here, as you can tell from your fucking forehead. But I'd say a decent start. I had a few drawings before this, but this was the first like finished appearance-wise. Next, skipping forward about 7 months, got sticking with the anime style, experimenting with backgrounds. You can see I was just getting more polished. And then around this time also, I started watching some normal artists on YouTube. He has some really good tutorials, so you guys should check him out if you're interested in like this style of hair and stuff. I don't necessarily do it anymore, so I don't watch much of his videos now, but it's nice having someone like around the same age as you kind of describe how to do stuff, because it, I don't know, it just clicks in my brain better. And then we're going to experimenting with some more backgrounds. Yuru Camp really inspired this one, if I were to say, if I remember that right. Again, still very cell shade anime style, keeping to the roots there. And same thing here. And this drawing was so bad at the time that it sparked a training arc. What I essentially did, a ton of thumbnails. I find thumbnails are a great way to practice anatomy, and then also you can use them, because they're thumbnail sketches, for full drawings. So it's kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And I like having when I do practice, being able to use it for other things. I don't necessarily do this that much anymore, but for a solid 2 years, this is my go-to. Only in the last few months has my process changed completely. Going there, did some face angles, coloring, and if we watch, we can see some progress here because I was spending about an hour on each one of these. So you can see first 9, second 9, third 9. Getting a little more polished, getting a little more finished looking right after the finish arc. Pretty solid. I would say that's pretty good because it was a month of pure practice, and I think it shows personally. I'm still pretty proud of the jump in skill there because beforehand I didn't study much anatomy or anything. I pretty much just drew because I was just having fun with it, which I don't think is a bad way to start, to be honest. But now I implement a lot more studies just because you get the newbie gains right away and then it really slows down. So you gotta make new breakthroughs and continue to learn and grow. And here we go. Anatomy, a lot of angles, and that also translates to backgrounds too. So getting a little bit more experimental with it. Some of the perspectives are a little fucked, but that's fine. It's a 2-year-old drawing. I mean, we can't be too mad at it. And again, getting a lot more polished, similar style, similar cell shading. And we're just starting out senior year, so this is a little over a year ago. Again, cell shade, but getting more in-depth backgrounds is really the main point at this time. And here is where I really started to study Dino, because Dino and 96 both do grayscale and then add a color layer. The layer is actually like the type color. I didn't know this until I started studying them, and they do that. So these next few drawings are with that. I was not a fan of how these are turning out, so stop doing that. Going back to how I normally do it, cell shading still. And now we're experimenting with SamDoesArts. This is when I discovered him and his style. I really like the process. This is the biggest thing I like about Sam. It's very like free, and you can it's very free form. You can do whatever you want, and I really like that. So I'm glad that I can finally have some progress with that and actually make some finished looking pieces now. But it was rough for a solid year plus. I say that, no, I went back to cell shading for this one because I was still teeter-tottering between. Here's more SamDoesArts studies practicing the process. So these look really rough, even though they're a year ago. So these, for a while, my drawings looked worse. For I'd say about a year. Up until about a month or two ago, the drawings looked significantly worse, but it was just me constantly trying new things out, seeing what worked, what didn't, and just slowly putting pieces together and continuing studying and continuing my practicing, and eventually it'll work out. Because I knew that when this would work, it would work really well. It's just, you gotta believe in yourself, because I was the only one that I knew that I was showing drawings to that actually was like, nah, this is gonna take a minute, and I'm cooking right now, but when I'm done cooking, you better be surprised. And I was right, by the way. Gotta brush my shoulder off. Know what I'm saying? More SamDoesArts studies here. I switched out how I practice a little bit. Started moving away from thumbnails just because I was trying to mimic how Sam does these and his proportions and all of that. And I watched his lip tutorial. That's where that's from. And also, this is just how I study now. I like the shape language of this head in the middle here. So I try and emulate that in this, but in my own style. So I'm taking individual elements again and implementing them into my own thing. And just stacking and stacking and stacking. And same thing here, nothing too crazy. Same thing here, studying more SamDoesArts, like his proportions. I don't necessarily like the proportions that much of a lot of his stuff. I like the more anime style for what I make, but he pulls it off. There's no harm in studying something even if you don't like it that much, and you wouldn't necessarily want to draw it, because you might figure something out, and I did with this. And same thing, trying to keep these like 15-20 minutes, that's why they're so rough. But you can see, trying to emulate the shading scenario here, but in my style. So obviously it's very rough because I'm trying to make something out of literally nothing. Nobody has done this before in this exact way, because I'm me. I'm the only guy of me, you know? And then we're starting to put it into full drawings, and this is where stuff looks rough for a while. Spin through a few of these. This one started quick, but this is about 7 months later than this one. And then we're going back a little rough again, experimenting more things. And this one, notice how it looks decent, but it's blurry. And that's just because my rendering was too loose. It's not sharp. Literally, it's not sharp, it's blurry. And again, just having fun with this one, to be honest. I watched Hell's Paradise, and we're going back, trying to tighten it up a little bit, but I wasn't a big fan of how this one, it looked too sharp and like too polished, and the eyes are kind of fucked up. And this one is kind of more what I was going for. This was very quick. I did forget her ears, sorry, but this was like 20 minutes, exactly what I wanted. Quick, it gives you all the detail you need, but none of anything you don't, because if you zoom in, there's not much detail. It's just all you need. And I've been getting better at that slowly. And again, a little bit more detail than needed here, but I was just trying stuff out. I was trying out a tone brush here in the hair, big fan. Trying out different effects for like whites and all that, trying to make them seem a little see-through, but nothing crazy. And I want to try out like a watery background, trying to add some more anime elements back in, because again, I really like the anime proportions and the anime style. It's just if you are going to be studying drawing, you need to study a lot of realism because you have to know the rules to break them. I mean, that's just how it is. So you end up studying a lot of realism, and that kind of brushes into your actual drawings. They have to kick it back out and go back in anime. It's just kind of like slowly building up those skills. And then these are the more recent ones, more studies, and here's the most recent one, last video. Thanks for the support on that one, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess you guys are liking it because these last few weeks have been crazy for growth, but I'm loving it. So I'm having a lot of fun with these, just making videos in general. I'm glad that people are actually watching them. It gives me a lot more inspiration to actually do more. And here's a comparison of right about 3.5 years of drawing, from 16 to 19, 16 on the left, 19 on the right. I would say pretty good gap. You can tell, you can't even tell that it's the same person, which I love because I did not like the cell shading style for the longest time. People can do it well. It's just, it doesn't work with like my brain and how I like to think about making drawings. I like the more freeform, but I tend to overthink things a lot. That's where a lot of the trouble comes in with the more freeform style, which I'm slowly starting to figure out. And I think just now it's starting to lock in. Because this drawing on the left, 40 hours. This one on the right, 20 minutes, right? And that's just 6,000 plus hours of practice, essentially. Because I treat it like because at the end of the day, if you want to like improve, you need to treat drawing as a sport and as a job. So I don't really care how you're feeling today, or if you were busy or anything like that. You need to get your drawing practice in, okay? If you want to continue to improve. And that's just me being, I mean, you also have to like it, obviously. I absolutely love drawing and everything about it. I have no problem with this. Sometimes I don't want to. Like right now, I don't want to be talking about drawing. But the second I started talking about it, now I'm happy again. I'll stop yapping. I'll leave you guys alone. Let me know if you guys like this formatted video. I'm trying something else out. Kind of feels a little stupid to not draw in a essentially drawing channel. Let me know what you guys think, what else you guys want. I'm pretty open. I think I want to do more character design stuff in the future. But I think I'm going to start doing at least 1 or 2 tutorials a month. I saw someone asking for backgrounds. I got you. I don't know when that'll be, but it will be before my birthday. So before August. So there you go. Well, that's all I got for you guys. See ya.